Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Bhaji, Dandavat Pranam. How are you?
Sorry for the delay, Prabhu.
No problem, not at all. Please take your time.
Hare Krishna. Let's start.
Yes, please start with prayer.
Okay. Om Jnanativrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinavini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pashyatadeshadharini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Om Tat Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Gurudev ki Jai. Guru, can you display the sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do it.
Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, text number 29. Please repeat after me. Nam sambaro anyatamat bhuvisprak purim imam veera bharena sakam arhati alankartam adabra karmana lokam param sir iva yajna pumsaha. Word meaning, not awesome of this. Varoro, O most fortunate one, Anya, Tamaha, anyone, Bhuvisprak, touching the ground, Purim, city, Imam, this, Veeravarena, the great hero, Akam, along with, Harhasi, you deserve, Alankartam, O decorate, Adabra, glorious, Karmanaha, whose activities, Lokam, old, Param, transcendental, Srihi, the goddess of fortune, Ivaha, like, Yetna Pumsaha, with enjoyer of all the yajnas. Translation from Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O greatly fortunate one, it appears that you are none of the women I have mentioned because I see that your feet are touching the ground. But if you are some woman of this planet, you can, like the goddess of fortune, who, accompanied by Lord Vishnu, increases the beauty of the Vaikuntha planets. Also, increase the beauty of the city by associating with me. You should understand that I am the great hero and a very powerful king on this planet. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanativrandasya Jnananjanasalakayam Sakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I'll go through the purport while giving the class.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Tadadi Sudadikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Udha Padakavalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sakradatam Sargana Raghunathamritam Samtarivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarganalita Shri Vishakha Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dheena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhupe Evacha Palitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Good morning to everyone. Today we're going to hear nectar from Srila Prabhupada from Canto 4, chapter 25, text number 29. Before that, this will offer the garland to all of you. This is held by His Holiness Japta Sai Maharaj. Haribol! I am wearing this garland. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Yesterday only came from Guruvayur after serving Maharaj. Okay. So, in this chapter, Prabhupada explained every living entity is Puranjana. So, there are two meanings. The Prabhupada mentioned one of his lecture, the word Puram means within this body and within this form, and Jana means living entity. Thus, everyone is Puranjana. Every living entity is supposed to be a king of his body, because the living entity is given full freedom to use this body as he likes. You know, in the material world, how they're using this body. So, is usually engages body for sense gratification, because one who is in the bodily consistent of life feels that ultimate goal of life to serve his senses. That is called Puranjana. So if we take in this world, 99% of this, the living entity has Puranjanas only. Also, Narada Muni gives one analogy in the Puranjana, this story. So after telling the story of Puranjana to Parshini Parikshit, he explained the meaning of the Puranjana. Puranjana is the soul, and Abhignata is the Lord. So as the soul and super soul, the body. The city of Bhagavati is a human body. The Puranjana is the soul, Abhignata is the Lord, and the city is body, the Bhagavati is the human body. So Narada Muni is telling, when Puranjana wants to live in this body, he forgets his friend. Who is the friend? Abhignata, the Lord. So most of us, we forget the Lord when you are engaged in the bodily activities. And also one more analogy is given. Puranjani is the mind. Puranjana is the soul, and Puranjani is the mind. So the soldiers that attack the city are the thought which is in the mind. How many soldiers are there in our mind? We don't know. Every time is attacking us. So in this way, to break the cycle, the Puranjana, Puranjani, all this cycle, we need the grace of Guru and Krishna. So that is the story of Puranjana. So we need the mercy of Narada Muni, Acharyas. Then only we can break this cycle, the Puranjana cycle, and Bhagavati, human body. So when we surrender to Guru, he will direct us to realize our true self and immortal friend of the Lord. Who is the immortal friend? Paramatma. Is Chaitya Guru. So when we surrender to the Lord, Krishna will take us to his abode through his devotee, pure devotee, Acharya. So here Narada Muni is Acharya, he is guiding Parshva Parikshit to go back to God. In this way, through this Srimad Bhagavatam, we can also learn many instructions how one can go back to God. So here, I'll just explain the purport. In the first para, Prabhupada mentioned clearly There's a difference between demonic mentality and devotional mentality. We should know which status state we are in. Devotee know perfectly well that the goddess of fortune, who is the constant companion of Vishnu or Narayana, cannot be enjoyed by a living entity. This higher sense of understanding is called Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada mentioned very clearly. We are not an enjoyer. Lord Krishna is an enjoyer. So here Prabhupada clearly mentioned difference between demonic mentality and devotional mentality. We should understand what mentality we are having. What is the difference? So Prabhupada gave different analogy, different lecture. What is the difference between devotee and demon? The demon is puffed up and a devotee is very submissive. Devotees are very meek and mild. That's what Prabhupada mentioned in his quote. So the demon is always puffed up. You always feel that he is a great personality. Is a demonic nature. And the devotee is always submissive and meek and humble. Also, Prabhupada mentioned, devotees know God is great. I am his eternal servant. Even in the American dollars also, they mention God is great. Correct? Now the definition has been changed now. God means gas, oil and defense. That is the God for everyone for now. Those who have gas means petroleum, oil and defense force. They're feeling themselves they are God. Like China, America, Russia. That is God for us. But for us, God means Krishna. And we are his eternal servant. So, the devotee always remains a humble servant. And demonic people think that himself the control of everything. They think he is a controller. So, in the present example, America want to control Russia. Russia want to control America. And China want to control India, Pakistan, many. So everyone acting like a god, but they are like dog. Prabhupada, they are like dog. The second example, you can see, devotee means they are devotee of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavat Dhaiva. He is a devotee. Lord Vishnu Bhakta is a devotee. So, what the demon? Prabhupada clearly mentioned here the characteristic of a demon so that they lost their intelligence. Etam drishtim avasthabhya nashtatpanaha alpabuddhyaha. Nashtatpanaha and alpabuddhyaha. They are like a demonic nature, demonic people. Nashtatpana means Atma means soul, spirit soul. So they lost the sense of spirit soul. They don't know what is spirit soul, body. They do not think that I am not this body. They think I am this body. I want to enjoy this body. This is demonic nature. The third difference is Nashtatpana. They lost the spiritual sense. Because why? Because they are Alpa Buddhyaha. Nashtatpanaha, Alpa Buddhyaha, Avishtabhyaha. So these are three characteristics of the demonic people. Alpa Buddhya, not very intelligent. This is a demonic nature. In this Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna clearly explains in the 16th chapter what is demonic quality and devotee's quality. Also in 12th chapter, Krishna mentioned who is very dear to me. So those who want to become very dear to Krishna, we have to follow the 36 qualities of a devotee. Then we can become dear to Krishna. At least start one by one every day. So the Krishna speaks in 16th chapter the two kinds of natures that is exist in the world, in our being, in the living entity, the divine and demonic. So he is listing out the what is the devotee's quality, the divine quality, such as charity, aversion to fault finding, purification of one's existence by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Why we are having every day Srimad Bhagavatam Satsang? We have to cultivate the knowledge. I was giving the example of a tree. What lesson we can learn from tree? In the tree, there are three parts. One is root, stem, and branches and flower and fruit. So what lesson we can learn from tree? So root indicates a connection. When you have spiritual knowledge, we will be connected to our parampara, connected to the Lord. So without connection, we cannot grow. So spiritual knowledge, it will help us to grow in devotional life. Without reading Prabhupada books, without understanding Prabhupada books, how we can grow in the spiritual life? It's not possible. But the connection is very important. We have to connect ourselves with the devotee and parampara and the Lord. And the cultivation. First C is, there are three C formula, or you can learn from tree. First C is connection. The second C is cultivation. That's what here Prabhupada mentioned. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Only connection will not help. I know who is the Lord, who is the Guru, but I don't have any more much knowledge about that. So cultivating knowledge is also very important. By hearing the lectures is a cultivating. Unless we have connection, unless we have cultivation, we cannot. The third C is contribution. We cannot contribute to the society. As a devotee, we have to be well connected to the system, the parampara system. We have to cultivate our knowledge by reading Srila Prabhupada books, by hearing Srila Prabhupada lecture, our Guru lecture, and our Vaishnava lectures, and we have to contribute to the world. That's what each and every one of us are trying to do. All this contributing, what they do, they want just contribute to the world. What they learn from the Acharya. That's what we can learn from tree, connection, cultivation, contribution. And the next quality is freedom from envy and from the passion of our honor. Even though I said this is a divine or devotee's quality, they should have this quality. At least we have to try to acquire this quality. Also, Krishna speaks about the quality of a demon. Suppose we have this kind of quality, we should be very, very careful. We have to come out from this quality. Pride, arrogance, conceit, that means excessive appreciation for one's own worth and virtue. They will glorify themselves. And anger, harshness, and ignorance. These are the demonic nature. So suppose we have this kind of quality, even little bit, we have to try to come out from this quality. Otherwise, we will remain as with a demonic nature. We have to become a devotee. That means we have to acquire the devotee's quality. That's what Prabhupada mentioned specifically in this purpose. So also, in 16th chapter, Lord says in Bhagavata, text number 23 to 24, यच्छास्त्र विधिम उत्कृज्य वर्तते कर्म काम कारतः न सिद्धिम अवप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गति. One who discards spiritual injunction and acts according to his own whim attain neither perfection nor happiness nor a supreme destination. Na sukham na param gati. Even though we know so many the principle, regulatory principle, but we don't follow. We put our own intelligence according to our own whimsical thought. Will change. That means we'll never get happiness in the world. Also, will not get the destination. So one should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulation of the scriptures. That's what we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Then we know what is our duty, what is not our duty. So Prabhupada mentioned, by knowing this, what happens, the gradual devotee will be elevated to have Uttamadhikari. So in this way, Prabhupada gives many examples of difference between demonic nature and devotional nature, or devotee or demons. So when you want to become a devotee, it is a process. Like we have recently introduced Agnipath. The vigorous training is there to enter the army. So falls also there's a training. There's a sadhana chart. Waking every day in the morning, performing Mangalarti to the Lord, chanting Mahamantra, Mantra lovingly, and worshipping the deity. This is the training for us. Like army, they have training. For the devotees, this is the training to go to the Lord, the spiritual world. On the citation of scriptures, that's what every day Prabhupada introduced Srimad Bhagavatam. In the morning, Bhagavad Gita in the evening, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. The one more thing Prabhupada mentioned, performing prescribed duties very careful. Very careful to do our duties. So in this way, when you follow all this principle, even though you follow all this principle, because we are so conditioned, even if you follow only one few of this above thing in irregular manner also, sometimes we chant in the morning, sometimes we chant in the night, sometimes we don't read scriptures, and we falsely think that we are great devotees. This is called Maya. So Prabhupada mentioned devotee means always strict. He is always strict. Strictly following the instruction of the Lord and as devotee, acharyas. So Prabhupada clearly mentioned one of this purport. When you fail to follow them, we are no lesser than the demons. That's all. You are not lesser than the demons. So clearly Prabhupada mentioned in his purport. Another in Prahlad, 7th canto purport. So when you read Srila Prabhupada purport, each and every line we have to analyze and read. We can learn many lessons from that. So also, Prabhupada in the second para, nonetheless, everyone wants to become happy by imitating the prosperity of Narayana. In this verse, Puranjana states that the girl appears to be an ordinary woman. However, since he is attracted by her, he requires that she become a happy as a goddess of fortune by associating with him. Thus, he introduced himself as a great king with a great influence so that she might accept him as her husband and be as happy as a goddess of fortune. This is the second para in the purport. So how to become a happy devotee? Prabhupada always mentioned, chant and be happy. How to become a happy devotee? So Prahlad gives many guidance and instruction in Prahlad prayer, 7th canto, 6th chapter, chapter 1. Prahlad Uvacha, Kumar Achara Pragno, Dharman Bhagavata Iha, Durlava Manasam Janmam, Tattapi Adhrubam Arthadam. So the Manasa Janma is very rare to get. Why we have to start practicing our sadhana bhakti very sincerely. That then only there's a meaning for this human life. There's no meaning. He said, Adat Dham means full of meaning. If we don't follow the instruction of Guru and Krishna, there is no meaning of this human life. Also in second sloka also, very important instruction Prabhupada is giving. Idahi Purushaskyega Vishnu Pado Parshanam Yat Isha Sarva Bhutanam Priya Atmeshwara Sukrudara. So Purushasya means that all the living entity. Vishnu Padosha Sarasparshanam. All the living entity, they have to take the shelter of lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Approaching the lotus feet of Lord. How to approach the lotus feet of the Lord? By reading the scriptures. By reading the scriptures, by understanding the scriptures, we can approach the lotus feet of the Lord. That's what Prahlad mentioned in his prayer. And also mentioned, the Lord is the Sarvabhutana of all living entities. He is in all living entities. Priyaha is very dear to all living entities. Atma Ishvaraha, the master of the soul. Paramatma, our super soul. Sukrita is the best well-wisher of all, is the friend of all. Sukritam Sarvabhutana, Napnama, Kantim Richati. So I am the well-wisher, friend. Pitahama Jagato, Mata, Dhata, Pitama. He said, I am the father, mother, friend, everything is the one. But falsely we think he is my friend. They will protect us. So in this way, the devotee should become always have very blissful, should be happy. So how to discover our permanent happiness? Through the Srimad Bhagavata. There are 5 tips are there. A devotee, by somebody seeing us means we should have blissful nature. When you have tension nature, they will also become tension. So how to discover the permanent happiness? So we have to focus on meditating on the Lord, form and his instruction. Whenever we read scriptures, whenever we read Lord's form, we have to meditate what the Lord is giving through his form, his different Chanka Chakra Kadapatma. He's telling, take shelter of my lotus feet, Abhay Hasta, and through instruction is giving. So we have to meditate on this instruction. This is one way of discover the permanent happiness. The second way, know your inner evils. Even though we are reading so many scriptures, but still we are not happy. Why? Still the evil, the demonic nature inside us. We have to know what are the inner evils. So to discover your permanent happiness, it is essential to know your inner weaknesses. Where we are weak. Our Guru Maharaj was giving a class in South Vrindavan. The devotee should follow the instruction of our Acharya very strictly. Otherwise, it will become weak. Like a doctor give the medicine to the patient. If the patient don't take the medicine, what happens? You become weak. Similarly, the devotee, what is the medicine? Scriptures are the medicine. Chanting the holy is the medicine. If you don't take the medicine, what happens? You become very weak. So know your inner weakness, evil, fear, because without removing the fears of the inner demon, it will be useless to analyze yourself. So therefore, to live a happy and peaceful life, blissful life, analyze where you're lack and then try to get rid of such evils. To kill the demonic nature, we have to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. This is the essence of all scriptures. When you try to practice whatever demonic nature inside within us, slowly we can get rid of that nature. This is second. First is meditate. Second is know your inner evils. So then focus on emotional interpretation. That means analyze all personal experience and know that have you learned from all this experience? So Krishna will put you so many tests, and what lesson will learn from the test? There's a difference between demon and devotee. Devotee, they learn lesson each and every moment. So even the demon, they just like a animal life. They don't learn any lesson from anything. So devotee, even any test comes, they learn lesson from the test. Yes, Krishna teaching us this world is Dukkalim Ashashvata. That's the reason everything is not permanent. Ashashvata. So Krishna teaching me through this lesson, this incident. So in this way, interpretation of what is happening to you, we have to analyze that one. Krishna will teach you many lessons through the many incidents, but you should learn the lesson through the incidents. This third one. So the fourth one is focus on what matters a lot to you. So if you are such a very blissful, very happiness life, so you need to emphasize on what matters to you a lot. So like suppose somebody doesn't chant the holy name, they become very sorrowful mood. Chanting the holy name is very matters a lot for us. By knowing the what matters to you a lot helps you to know who exactly you are and what type of personality you possess. Suppose you lost money, you're focusing on the mind on only money. That means you know what personality you are. Suppose somebody is you're blaspheming, your thought, the mind is disturbed. You're not focused what you have to do, but you know what personality you are. So we have to analyze the things. What matters a lot is very important. That means we can slowly develop the divine quality in us. The fifth one is very important. Bring self-acceptance in life. Usually, people tend to ignore their weaknesses. They'll think, I am the great. I am the greatest of. And they ignore the weakness and mistake. For the devotee is very important. Those who want to, in the sadhana bhakti, those who want to go to the Golaka, they should know what is the weakness, what is the mistake I am doing. Without knowing this, will be always committing mistake. But ignoring the weakness is not a solution for a happy life. Ignoring the Weaknesses is not a solution for the happy life. We should find out what is my weakness. Like a doctor will find out what is the problem in the body. Similarly, we have to find out what is the problem within me. If you wish to know yourself and live a happy life, then you will have to bring acceptance in your life. You have to accept what is the mistake, you have to accept what is the weakness I'm having. So Prabhupada give, you need to accept all your weaknesses and then start working on those weaknesses. So knowing the self is the only way to live peacefully and happily. So one of the lectures Prabhupada gives is you have to know what mistake we are doing, what is our weakness. Somebody weaknesses, they cannot get up early in the morning. So we have to work on that. Somebody they cannot have more time on reading Bhagavatam. They have to work on that. Because these are weaknesses in our spiritual life. You have to work on that. So this is a very high point to have very permanent blissful life or happy life. Also, in the third paragraph, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, to desire, enjoy this material world as a subordinate of the Supreme Personality Godhead is godly. I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. Krishna is giving this wealth, I am using on behalf of it. That's all. This man is called godly. The demons, however, want to enjoy this material world without considering the Supreme Personality Godhead. This is the difference between demon and demigod. That's what Prabhupada mentioned in this purport. So we can have many examples of Srimad Bhagavatam, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa, all these demons, they want to enjoy without considering the supremacy of the Lord. This is called the demonic quality. In the Kali Yuga, most of them have demonic quality only. So how to change them? They have to inspire them to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the many examples we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam only. Also, in the fourth para, Prabhupada mentioned the word Bhuvisprik mentioned in this verse is very significant. When the demigods sometimes come to this planet, they do not touch the ground. They do not touch the ground. Puranjana could understand that this girl did not belong to the transcendental world or higher planet system because her feet was touching the ground. So the Puranjana is analyzing after seeing the lady. So example, the demigod, they don't touch the ground. They always 6 inches above the ground level only. They don't touch the ground. 6 inches or 1 feet. When in Mahabharata, in the battle of the Kurukshetra, Krishna gave instruction to Dharmaraj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, please tell this lie. Ashwatthama Atakunjaraha. He said, oh, I am Dharmaraj. How I can say lie? I will not say lie. So his chariot was not touching the ground actually. It was above the ground only, always going above because he was Dharmaraj. When he didn't follow the instruction of Lord Krishna, immediately he start touching the ground, chariot. That means what we can understand from this lesson, from this pastime. When you don't follow the instruction of the Lord, what happened? We will be in the material world only, touching this, all the 3 gunas, 3 kleshas, always bound by the material nature. When you follow the instruction of the Lord, we go above the material nature. That means we are in the transcendental platform. So that's the reason in our movement we say chant and dance. Why are we telling the devotee chant and dance? When you dance, your feet always above the ground level. Correct? When you go to the temple, we have to chant and dance. Dance means we are going above the three modes, above the three gunas, kleshas, everything. We have to happily chant and dance in the temple wherever go kirtan. That means slowly we're elevating to the transcendental platform. So, kirtana, kirtaniya sadahari. When you chant and dance, what happens? You slowly elevate to the spiritual platform. I see many devotees in Vrindavan. When you go for Vrajamata Parikrama, there's one devotee from Russia. He was chanting and dancing for 22 hours. Only 2 hours he was taking rest. In the night time also, he was always chanting and dancing. Because he's always in blissful mood. Also, he was not very young. He was old also. He was around 55-year-old. He was always chanting and dancing in Vrindavan. When you go to Vrajamata Parikrama, he was chanting and dancing. Wherever he go, he was chanting and dancing. So, in this way, the Prabhupada given us facility, everyone to go back to God just by following his instructions. So, in the last para, Prabhupada mentioned, since every woman in this world wants her husband to be very influential, rich and powerful, Puranjana, to seduce the girl, introduced himself as such personality. In the material world, whether one be a man or a woman, one wants to enjoy. A man wants to enjoy a beautiful woman, and a woman wants to enjoy a powerful, opulent man. Every living entity who possesses such material desire is called Purusha and enjoyer. Superficially, it appears that a woman is enjoyed and a man is enjoyed, but internally, everyone is an enjoyer. Consequently, everything in the material world is called Maya. So, Prabhupada clearly mentions the purport who is in the Maya. Those who want to enjoy this material world means they are in the Maya. Those who want to serve the Lord means they are not in Maya. They want to serve always the Lord and His mission. They are devotees. So, in the Prabhupada given up this lecture, we have Maya and Maya. We have 5 in our body, there are 5 chakras are there. The Annamaya. So Prabhupada give very wonderful example. There's a different manifestation of the Lord's energy in our body. First is Annamaya. So those who are people who depend on only food for existence, they are in Annamaya. This is a materialistic realization. Without food, they cannot live. People of this world, they want to only enjoy the food. They are in the Annamaya Kosha. They want just eat and sleep, that's all. The second is, first is Annamaya, second is Pranamaya. So the first one thinking that Annamaya, so they are realizing the Lord through food. That's all. The second one, Pranamaya. After realizing the supreme absolute truth in food, one can realize absolute truth in living symptoms or life forms. Yes, every living entity, you can say the prana is there. Because it is also living entity. They can realize the thing. It's a pranamaya kosha. From Annamaya The second is Pranamaya. See the Lord in every living entity. And third is Jnanamaya. So, Jnanamaya means realization action beyond the living symptoms. You go above. Thinking, feeling, and willing. You will see the nature. You will see, you will get the knowledge. You will keep on thinking, how created this, the material world? What is there in the spiritual world? The next step is Jnanamaya. Then it comes to, after coming to the Jnanamaya stage, you go to the Vijnanamaya. It's called Brahman Realization. It comes to the Brahman Realization. So, next in the final one is Anandamaya. This is the supreme stage. Realization of all blissful nature of the Lord. So, in this way, one can come to from the first stage is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. So, Anandamaya, Abhyasat. So, we have to try to cultivate an Anandamaya by cultivating the knowledge, realizing the absolute truth, seeing every living entity as a part and parcel of the Lord, seeing the Lord in every creation, and come to the stage of Anandamaya. In this way, the whole, so nothing, for the devotee, nothing material, spiritual. You see, everything spiritual only. Because the Lord has created this. For him, everything spiritual only. And Prabhupada was using a microphone. Even though it's material thing, but using for Krishna's service. It becomes spiritual. Prabhupada was using a very, very, very costly car. The car becomes very spiritual because using for pure devotee of the Lord. Even though we have material opulences, when you use for Krishna service, it becomes spiritual. But you have to use that material opulences for the Krishna service. Like Ambarish Das, the Ford grandson of Ford, uses all his opulences to build a TOOP. More than 300, 400 crores is spent. So in this way, whatever we have to use for our Krishna service or our Acharya's mission. Then it becomes spiritual. In this way, from Jnanamaya to Anandamaya Abhyasa, we can enjoy the blissful nature of the soul. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in this way, the Purajana story, when Narada is explaining, we can learn many, many lessons from this chapter. That's what I can understand from this purport by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Acharya. Hare Krishna. If you have any question, please.
Hare Krishna.
Do you have any question? And
thank you for the wonderful class and explaining the qualities of a devotee and also the differences between a demonic mentality and a devotee mentality. One thing that struck was, of course, apart from the 5 points, how we can meditating on those 5 points, be happy in this material world, or have the real bliss rather, and then also the analogy of the tree, how we should be connected with the parampara. Thank you for the points. Devotees can unmute themselves to share any reflections, or if they have any questions, please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Satchitananda. Thank you for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Especially the big takeaway is the need for introspection, analyzing our own weakness, and acting upon them. I think that's a very big takeaway from today's class, Prabhuji. You have beautifully taken example from Prahlad Maharaj's sloka and explained. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam, you can learn many, many lessons. When you read Srila Prabhupada, each and every line, there's many lessons are there. I was reading yesterday, I came back, I was reading the purport. Immediately, many, many things come out by the mercy of Guru and Acharya. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. I think we can conclude. Yeah, there seems to be no question. Okay, Prabhuji, we'll conclude.
Yeah. Okay. Any announcement is there? We can announce. Tomorrow is the Rath Yatra, no?
Yeah, tomorrow is Rath Yatra. Yes,
We
Prabhuji.
can announce that from Rath Yatra.
We don't have any information to an announcement. Shankarshan Prabhu, do you have any announcements?
Yes, Prabhuji, I think yes, tomorrow we will have morning class as usual, but in the evening we have Jagannath Rath Yatra in the from Rajaji Nagar. The details is being shared in our devotees congregation group. So there is an appeal from the devotees from the temple management that all the devotees are requested to come and participate in the large number to take the blessings from Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Mai. So request devotees to come and participate and take the blessings of Lordship. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the reminder.
Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath. Hare Bol.
And we are doing this Rath Yatra after almost after 3 years. So it's a great opportunity to serve the Lord and take association of other devotees. Also, there was one another announcement sent by his temple management yesterday. Today there will be a Gundicha Marjanam activity in the afternoon and also on Sunday. So devotees are requested to come and participate in the seva of Marjanam, temple cleaning service.
Also, the devotee or participant in the Yatra, they can bring fruits that can be distributed to the public. So we can bring large quantity of fruits, banana, water available, so that you can offer to Jagannath. We can give, distribute the prasadam to the public. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpadurupasya kripa sindhuvevacha paritanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.